Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final session of the 49th Annual Fall Convocation of the University of Manitoba. My name is Mel Braun. I'm a teacher of singing at the Des Hôtels Faculty of Music, where I also work with the opera ensembles. And today, I will function as your Master of Ceremonies. We welcome you to take photos during the ceremony, but we ask that you do it from your seats. That way there's no blocking of the photographer here at the front. Also, if you have cell phones with you, please turn them off or to silent at this moment. Following the ceremony, there's a lovely set of desserts and coffee at the back where the students have gathered in the James Daly Fieldhouse. So follow them there and catch your share of the treats. We have some guests with us. These are guests who are special guests of the president of our university, guests of recipients of special honors and awards at today's ceremony. So we'd like you to welcome you here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what you've all come for, let's rise for the entrance of the academic party and our graduating students. Now, graduates, I know you've just sat down, but if I could ask you to rise for the entrance of the Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Manitoba, Janice Philman. If everyone could remain standing, we'll now join Justin Odwack from the Des Hôtels Faculty of Music in the singing of O Canada, followed by the traditional honor song sung for us by Justina McKay, and then the invocation with Tyler Gingrich.
Our home and native land. Let's join our hearts together. As we gather with friends and family to celebrate at this convocation, we give thanks for all the accomplishments represented this day and for the future possibilities and opportunities that these degrees will make possible. We give thanks for this place of learning and for all who work here, for professors and students, for research and its applications in the world, for peers and faculty who have pushed us and helped us to grow in both knowledge and wisdom. Help us to go from this day of celebration to use our distinct knowledge and wisdom in ways that make a difference, seeking the good of all in our communities and in our world. Amen.
Please be seated. Good afternoon, students, families and friends, faculty and staff, alumni, and honored guests. My name is David Barnard. I'm the President and Vice Chancellor of the University of Manitoba, and it's my distinct honor to welcome you all to the Fall 2016 Convocation ceremonies and to declare Convocation to be officially in session. We're met here this afternoon on the original lands of the Anishinaabeg, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. We respect the treaties that were made on these territories, we acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past, and we dedicate ourselves to move forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. It's a pleasure to acknowledge some special guests. To welcome to our platform today, the Honorable Janice Filmon, Lieutenant Governor of Manitoba, our Chancellor, Mr. Harvey, and today's recipient of our highest honor, the honorary doctorate degree, the Honorable Wayne Waters, Dr. Kirk McManus, recipient of the Graduate Students Teaching Award, and Mr. Jeff Lieberman, representing the Alumni Association. And also on the platform are members of the senior administration, deans, directors, student representatives, and faculty members who have played important roles in the achievements that we celebrate today. And what we celebrate are the achievements that you graduands seated before us have made. So congratulations on everything that you've accomplished. I hope that what you've acquired here, knowledge in your chosen field of study, the desire and ability to think critically and to learn continuously, and presumably some friendships that will last you over the years, I hope that these things will serve you well as you take your places as leaders and contributors to society's betterment here in Manitoba and around the world. You embark on the next stage of your lives at a truly auspicious time. I know everyone says that on occasions like this, but I think that this moment, your moment, here in this country at this time, is as wide open for change as ever before. Because over the past several years, as a nation, we've faced some hard truths about ourselves and our history, and now we've tasked ourselves with moving forward together, reconciled. Whether you count yourselves among the recent global migrants to this country, as descendants of early settlers or later immigrants, new arrivals, or members of the Indigenous peoples, you assume your new roles of increased responsibility just as this country has an opportunity for a new beginning. Next year, Canada marks its 150th birthday, and that same year, this university marks its 140th anniversary. These are causes for celebration, to be sure, and there'll be plenty of those here on this campus as we remember the achievements and highlights of the past 14 decades, and across the country as we pay tribute to a century and a half of nationhood. But we need to think deeper. We need to learn from the experience and findings of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. We need to be honest with ourselves. Our nation's origin story is false. What we usually tell each other leaves out the foundational roles of the First Nations people, the Métis, the Inuit, and their lasting contributions. It also conveniently leaves out the exploitation, duplicity, and ultimately the cultural genocide that was perpetrated by colonizers upon Indigenous populations. Those are serious faults upon which we cannot build a strong future. We all collectively need to own that. And you all, as tomorrow's artists, scholars, professionals, can lead the way in fixing it. We'll have a much better nation if you do. The same critical lens can be brought to a review of the history of this university. As leaders in society, we might have stood up as an institution and spoken out against the residential school system when there was still an opportunity to make a difference. We did not. We might have lifted the pre-World War II quota on Jewish medical students sooner. We might have made our physical spaces more accessible, our classrooms more inclusive, but we fell short. Even with our many undeniable successes over the years, educating Manitoba's leaders and world game changers, Canada's first Chinese students, more Indigenous lawyers and social workers and teachers and engineers than most Canadian universities, history, our history, records that all too often we failed, we could have done better. This university can, I'm proud to say, claim one particularly bright and reassuring story at its very foundation. Our first ever benefactor, Alexander Kennedy Isbister, a Métis lawyer and scholar of Cree and Scottish descent, who left $83,000 and more than 4,000 books to the University of Manitoba when he died in 1883, did so with one remarkably forward-thinking stipulation: that the money be used for scholarships and prizes for all who merited them, regardless of sex, race, creed, language, or nationality. I hope that his act of generosity can continue to inspire all of us who care about the future of this university, and in particular inspire you, graduands, as you build a better future for this province, this country, this world, and yourselves. Let's learn from the lessons of the past so that the next 140 or 150 years bring dignity and prosperity to all. You are the ones who can make this happen. There's an Indigenous way of understanding the responsibility of current generations towards future generations from which we can all learn and benefit. It's the notion of 7 generations of stewardship, which originated with the great law of the Iroquois. This beautiful teaching urges the current generation to think ahead 7 generations when making important decisions. I reference this teaching today from a place of humility and respect, and I encourage us all to learn more about the teaching of from the elders in our community who can explain it more authentically and thoroughly than I can do. But I think this teaching can guide us as we mark this milestone year in our nation's and our university's ongoing narratives. And I ask that you all join me today in committing to make a central purpose of the University of Manitoba's anniversary year to understand, share, and explore the truth of the 7 generations teaching. That way we can utilize the opportunity afforded by this anniversary to make a real difference. We'll share more with you about our 140th anniversary activities in the coming months, culminating in a central event on the University of Manitoba's actual birthday on February 28, 2017, and I hope that many of you will be able to join us. A few weeks ago, I had the privilege of speaking with Gord Downey. We've all been moved by the courage and selflessness he has shown as he faces what will likely be his last days. At a time when he could understandably focus on his own fate, Gord has turned his attention to difficult issues at the very core of this nation, those stemming from a reluctance to open our eyes to the residual trauma and horrible inequities suffered by Indigenous peoples. And in his quest to address these issues, he has cited the 7 generations teaching, reminding Canadians of the Elders' Council that it will take 7 generations to heal the deep wounds of the residential schools. Today, I encourage you to contemplate the words Gord Downey stated so clearly and plainly from the stage of the Tragically Hip's summer concert in Kingston, Ontario, and in September when he donated the proceeds of his latest project to the Centre for Truth and Reconciliation here at the University of Manitoba. He said, "We're not the country we thought we were." For you who are graduating, what a critical and perhaps imposing and yet amazing time to be coming into your own as educated and informed citizens of this country, of this planet, graduates of this university. Please make this country, make this world what we think we are and what we would like to be. We're very proud of the contributions you've made here as students, and we anticipate amazing, world-changing things from you in your lives and careers that are ahead. Now, I would just like to say informally a word or two to families and friends who are here. We'll move shortly to the part of the ceremony that you all came for, where the graduates will come forward. One at a time, they'll be named, they'll shake hands with the Chancellor, they'll receive their parchment, have a photograph taken. And that period of time will be quite brief, actually, for each person. And I expect that many of you have come here because you're proud of these people, you love them, and you'd like to express that. And we encourage that expression. For some people, applause will be appropriate. Some families might have slightly more vocal or noisy traditions, and that's fine. We welcome that too. We have had cowbells and sirens from time to time. I would ask just that as you consider what you're going to do, you find a reasonable balance between conveying your pride and your love and stopping short of seeming like it's surprising that you're here. Thank you for coming.
Good afternoon. My name is Christopher Adams. I'm the rector of St. Paul's College here at the University of Manitoba, and I'm honored to be reading this citation today. The highest honor the Senate of a university can confer upon an individual is an honorary doctorate. At the University of Manitoba, the criteria includes distinguished achievement in scholarship, the arts, or public service. Our honorary graduate this afternoon is the Honorable Wayne Waters. During a distinguished career in public service, former clerk of the Privy Council, the Honorable Wayne Waters helped shape our country. He did so with great humility and respect, which he learned growing up on his parents' farm in small-town Edam, Saskatchewan. He remembers as a young boy sitting in front of the television set with his grandfather, watching the politicians in Ottawa debate the new red and white Canadian flag. This is the same flag he would one day see outside his office window on Parliament Hill in Ottawa, and the same flag he would accept as a retirement gift in 2014 from the Prime Minister. This gift was in honor of his unwavering dedication as the country's top public servant. The Honorable Waters informed important policy decisions and major government initiatives as Deputy Minister to the Prime Minister, Secretary to the Cabinet, and Head of the Public Service. He led complex institutional transformations, enhanced Canada's international trade relations, and as Secretary of the Treasury Board oversaw an annual budget exceeding $250 billion. His career in public service spanned nearly 4 decades, beginning in 1977 with the Government of Saskatchewan. With degrees in commerce and economics, the Honorable Waters held several positions at the provincial level before moving to our nation's capital. Over the years, he accepted greater responsibilities, bringing his expertise to a diverse range of portfolios. He was unafraid to tread into unfamiliar territory. Despite coming from a landlocked province, his first appointment as a deputy minister was with the Department of Fisheries and Oceans. As Assistant Secretary to the Cabinet, he led the Expenditure Reduction Plan. This plan in 1995 brought the federal budget back into a surplus for the first time in many years. Recognized for his ability to lead transformational change, he was appointed Clerk of the Privy Council in 2009. This is the country's top post in the public service. The Honorable Waters guided 450,000 employees into the digital era and inspired a new spirit of collaboration. To create a more transparent public service, he led the groundbreaking Blueprint 2020. It would be the largest consultation of public servants ever conducted. He championed a more open style of leadership and set his own example by reaching out to frontline workers and inviting their feedback. In 2014, he was sworn as a member of the Queen's Privy Council of Canada, a rare honor for an unelected government official that recognizes his outstanding service to Canadians. Dedicated to the greater good, he believes strongly that his service to the country should extend beyond any professional duty. He believes that by giving back in our own communities, each one of us can build a stronger Canada. Mr. Chancellor, it It is an honor for me to ask on behalf of the Senate of the University of Manitoba that you confer upon the Honorable Wayne Waters the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of this university, I admit you to the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges thereto appertaining. Congratulations, Dr. Waters.
Thank you. Well, hello, everyone. It's truly an honor for me to be here today and to receive this honorary degree. I'm very, very pleased to do so. And as you heard, I'm not from Manitoba. I didn't go to the University of Manitoba, but I was born and raised in Saskatchewan, and from a global perspective, I think that's close enough. I also have to say that although I'm not from Saskatchewan, my grandmother was the son of daughter of Scottish pioneers at Gilbert Plains. She was born and raised in Gilbert Plains, so I'm today recognizing this honorary degree on behalf of my grandmother, who, of course, lived very close to me all my youth. Convocation is always such an exciting time for everyone, particularly for you, the students, and by the way, you guys look really great here today. Also, of course, for the parents, this time has finally arrived for the parents and the family, graduation day, and of course for the professors of whom I'm sure many are very sad to see you go, and maybe some you can't close the door quick enough. But nevertheless, it does fill me with optimism and energy to come to such an event. And again, I would like to thank the University of Manitoba for bestowing this great distinction, allowing me the privilege of joining all of you here today. Today, as already noted, change is all around us. Sometimes it's comforting, and other times it's a bit intimidating, but it is constant here in Canada and around the world. And I was recently, several weeks ago, I spent time in Shanghai, Singapore, and Jakarta, each amazing and a true shock to the senses of a Westerner like myself. These changes that these cities have experienced over the past 2 decades is more than palpable and can be attributed, I think, to one thing. In a word, the key driver behind all of this has been globalization. Globalization is a big word and a big concept for a prairie boy like myself. It envelopes the world and has generally led to positive results. The impacts of globalization have been very different, though, depending on whether you live in Detroit or Calgary or Hanoi, Vietnam, or Shanghai, China. Globalization is more nuanced than the harmonization of goods and services around the world. It goes beyond being able to pick up Crest toothpaste in Mumbai, India, or enjoy a Starbucks latte on Raffles Quay in Singapore, or dig into a Big Mac at McDonald's in the Athens airport, which you can do all of those. Globalization has affected all our lives, no matter where we live or what we may do. And to begin with, it has resulted, I think, in some very positive changes for the world. Globalization has, for example, played a very significant role in reducing poverty and integrating developing countries into a wider world economy. In China alone, 600 million people were lifted out of extreme poverty conditions between 1981 and 2001, and that has been increasing significantly since then. Globalization has resulted in the reduction of barriers to trade and commerce and an increase of foreign direct investment. Combined, these two factors have enabled the diversification of trade, it's created more and faster growing emerging economies, and it's provided developed nations like Canada with new and diversified markets around the globe. The free movement of capital and goods have generated, as I said, tremendous wealth in both the developing and developed nations of the world. And it is undeniable that globalization and freer trade has been a net benefit to Canada. We are a small, open economy where trade is so critical to our well-being. As free trade investment expanded, firms like GM and Apple and Zara outsourced their production to countries with much lower labor and production costs, and this in turn has increased the standard of living of the citizens of these countries. The middle class in countries like Indonesia and India and China has grown by leaps and bounds and is buying foodstuff, cars, electrical equipment from companies that are headquartered in North America and Europe. Western firms can expect to continue to see massive benefits as they sell their products and services beyond their borders to these rapidly growing markets. And over time, of course, these developing countries are creating their own domestic capacity to produce comparable products and services to meet the needs of their own citizens, much as China has done. But this will take time, and for many developing countries, Western know-how is still very much needed. But despite the successes of globalization, there's always a but. There are some rough edges too. For example, in the rush to build manufacturing facilities and expand transportation infrastructure, the environment has been a casualty in many of these developing countries. Pollution has left the air and water contaminated. Unplanned urbanization has marginalized average citizens, and neighborhoods are raised to make room for factories, leaving many homeless. Also, most of us are familiar with the deadly conditions and horrific stories about the ready-made garment industry in Bangladesh. So, these are examples of the dark side of globalization. And there are other implications here, back home in North America, that I think perhaps has been ignored. You know, there are many similarities in the tone and tenor of the Trump campaign in the current U.S. election and the results of the June 23rd Brexit referendum, in which the citizens of Great Britain voted to leave the European Union. Many of the Trump and Brexit supporters are middle-aged, mostly white citizens who lost their jobs as plants moved to low-wage countries around the world. Their incomes have remained stagnant. Job opportunities for them are few, and they feel threatened by new immigrants. You know, Eastern Europeans and Syrians in the case of Great Britain, or Mexicans in the case of the U.S. These immigrants coming to their communities, taking whatever jobs that remain, and undermining their way of life. So it is understandable that many Americans can relate to Donald Trump's diatribe, if I could categorize it as that globalization and free trade have done nothing for the average American worker. It is very similar for many who voted against Brexit, where they ask themselves, what is the point of being British anymore? These sentiments are real, and they're understandable. Those who have been swept aside are particularly susceptible to the us versus them message espoused by the likes of one Donald Trump. Even against this emotional backdrop, We need to remember, especially Canada, but North America, that globalization has been a net benefit to the world, and there is no turning back. But we must learn to improve. We must strengthen or shift our paradigm for the better. The big question is, how will we go about doing this? I think we can safely say that the solutions do not lay, this is my view, my personal view, do not lay in the utterings of one Donald Trump, nor, for that matter, those who led the charge in Great Britain to leave the European Union. Rolling up the drawbridge and building a wall, whether literally to keep the Mexicans out in the U.S., or figuratively by barring newcomers and shutting down immigration, is not the answer. These were the remedies employed, may I say, by the warlords in the Middle Ages as they built their moats and castles to protect themselves from their enemies. They don't make any sense in 2016. In fact, for a country like Canada, with our aging population and shrinking labor force, we need to even reach out more to the world to bring in talent to meet our future labor force requirements. And we must avoid the U.S. phenomenon where too many Americans have been left behind, even as their economy has grown appreciably over the past 2 decades. You know, you can call it whatever you want. You can call it the 1% solution, but we know that when a disproportionate amount of income and influence is concentrated in the hands of a few, it leads only to backlash, resentment, and unrest. This is no great revelation. This has gone on for centuries. What redistribution formula is best is debatable, but we need to come to ground on some of these solutions, I believe, very quickly. Whether it be the large multinationals with their branch plants around the world, or the established social media companies like Facebook and Google, or the entertainment moguls, they have generated multi-billions in profits, and their executive teams have been more than adequately compensated. For example, the median pay level of a Standard & Poor 500 chief executive in 2015 was $10.4 million. Now, that is something for you guys to shoot for when you leave this institution. In the face of the massive accumulation of wealth, I think America's failure, and for that matter for much of the developed world, has been the absence of inclusive growth over the past few decades. Too much wealth has been accumulated in the hands of a few, while many other citizens have been left to fall through the cracks. Also, schemes to avoid paying corporate taxes have become increasingly prevalent as the Starbucks and the Amazons and the Googles of the world have been called out for tax avoidance by moving their revenues to countries that have more favorable tax regimes. Now, to be clear, tax avoidance is not tax evasion. It is perfectly legal. But is it the right thing to do? Should large multinationals who have benefited from moving their factories to low-cost countries not be required to pay their fair share of taxes back home in the United States, in Europe, or in Canada, for that matter? Now, it is not so much that companies and individuals pay their fair share of taxes. The place where I work, governments, must also use these revenues wisely to support those who have been left behind. They must put in place the mechanisms to ensure that the disaffected workers are able to access training and traditional support to find new jobs and rebuild their lives. They must also introduce initiatives that will stimulate the economy. For example, they need to spend tax dollars on projects that can create jobs and lead to long-lasting benefits to citizens over the long run. Taking on capital projects isn't the whole answer, though. We need to employ other short and medium-term options to spur job creation and get Canadians of all working ages working again. Even in Europe, where the tax rates are higher, not enough is being done to help the middle-aged worker find a job. What is needed is more training, may I say retraining, help with relocation, and more community support networks to help for better integration. And yes, for the less fortunate, direct income support will always be needed. But let's find a way to make support a hand up as opposed to a handout. Wealth generation without an appropriate tax and transfer system to help redistribute is like a car without a steering wheel. And I believe that in Canada, our tax transfer system has been more robust. The current government's policy to support the middle class, I think, is a case in point. The tax hikes for those earning more than $200,000, the corresponding tax reduction for middle-income Canadians combined with the new child tax benefit, I think will help to ensure that more Canadians will reap the benefits of economic growth in this country. So, again, we know that overall globalization has been a good thing and has lifted many millions of people out of poverty. We also know that not all people have benefited, and there are some gaps in the globalization formula. The fix, as they say, is within our power, and it is incumbent on us to start addressing these matters. So I turn to you, new graduates, to think creatively, constructively, and may I say compassionately, and help figure out solutions to these persistent and pernicious problems. And as you graduate and go out in the world, don't always condemn high taxes. See them as a tool to help rebalance society and hold your governments to account. Hold them to account to help ensure that we don't leave citizens behind as we strive for a society that is not only more affluent, but is also more caring and harmonious. And after all, this is who we are as Canadians. Congratulations to all of you. The best of luck to you, and thank you again to the University of Manitoba for bestowing this wonderful award on me. Thank you very much, everyone.
Good afternoon. My name is Catherine Marsnick, and I'm the Vice President Academic of the Graduate Students Association, and it is my honor today to present the Graduate Students Association Teaching Award, which recognizes individuals who have made, in the estimate of their graduate students, a significant contribution to their teaching profession and who have displayed a dedication to knowledge and sensitivity to their students and the student community. This year's recipient is Dr. Kirk McManus. Dr. Kirk McManus does more than teach. He empowers his students to be critical thinkers and equips them with the expertise they need to succeed not only in their careers, but in life. An associate professor in biochemistry and medical genetics, Dr. McManus shares his extensive knowledge with his students while challenging them to problem solve and push themselves further. He leads by example. Dr. McManus is a University of Manitoba alumnus and a senior scientist with the Research Institute in Oncology and Hematology within Cancer Care Manitoba. In 2014, he received the prestigious RH Award for showing exceptional innovation, leadership, and promise in his field. He investigates genes that regulate the chromosomes involved in colorectal cancer, the second leading cause of cancer-related deaths in Canada. Dr. McManus believes that a better understanding of how this cancer begins on the microscopic level will lead to novel treatments that could save lives. Despite his rigorous schedule, he has an open-door policy for his students. He is committed to helping them achieve their goals. He tailored a master's project focused on patient samples for a student eyeing a career in medicine. He sought a teacher assistant position for a student interested in becoming an educator. He organized job shadowing opportunities for students still unsure about their path. Every student in Dr. McManus's lab has received an award for their scholarly excellence, a testament to the inspiring environment in which they learn. He brings a love of science and a sense of humor to each class, encouraging lively discussions and debate. In April, Dr. McManus received the University of Manitoba's Merit Award for Teaching, Service, and Research. He also lends his expertise to several committees involving the PhD program and its curriculum development in order to continuously review and make improvements. Students describe Dr. McManus as not only an exceptional teacher, but a mentor who inspires and a role model who treats them as an equal. It is my pleasure to present this year's Graduate Students Association Teaching Award to Dr. Kirk McManus.
We now turn our attention to the academic achievements of our graduating students. Before we proceed with the conferral of degrees, we have one student we'd like to recognize who has achieved the highest standing in her class. Florentina Tolai. Florentina Tolai is the recipient of the University Gold Medal, which is awarded to a student for the highest standing in an undergraduate faculty, college, or school. Florentina graduates today with a Bachelor of Respiratory Therapy degree. She's a graduate of Shaftesbury High School, and during her time at the U of M, she volunteered at Victoria Hospital and was active in the College of Rehabilitation Sciences Students Association. Throughout her 5 years at the university, Florentina has been on the Dean's Honor List. She was a recipient of the Manitoba Blue Cross Medical Rehabilitation Scholarship, the College of Rehabilitation Sciences Medal in Respiratory Therapy, and the BOMI-Med Clinical Excellence Award. Ladies and gentlemen, the University Gold Medal winner, Florentina Tolai. A complete list of the recipients of medals and prizes is shown in your program, commencing on page 108. It's well worth pursuing. And now it's time for Chancellor Harvey Sector to address convocation.
Thank you. Your Honor, distinguished honorees, graduates and guests. It's a special privilege accorded to the Chancellor to participate in convocation. I'm honored to be here today to join you, the graduates, your family and friends, in celebrating the completion of your current programs. Congratulations to all of you who received awards and prizes for your individual accomplishments, to Dr. McManus on receiving the Graduate Student Teaching Award, and to Dr. Waters on being awarded a most well-deserved honorary degree. The University of Manitoba has a rich history dating back to 1877. Students, faculty, alumni, and many others connected with this institution have made significant contributions to the cultural, social, and economic well-being of this province, Canada, and increasingly around the world for close to 140 years. During this fall convocation, we're recognizing the achievements and contributions of 5 distinguished individuals. This afternoon, we're honoring an alumnus and current member of our faculty who's being recognized for his research and service, as well as to the impact he has had on his students. We're also presenting an honorary degree to a man who rose to the highest ranks in the public service without even having attended the University of Manitoba. The university has as one of its objectives that honorary degrees should recognize those, regardless of whether or not they're graduates of this university, as long as they are people who represent the values and leadership that are such an integral part of the University of Manitoba heritage. Dr. Waters is a prime example of that kind of leader. As we heard, at the height of a career in public service that spanned close to 40 years, He oversaw a budget of some $250 billion and a staff of 450,000. Staggering numbers to most of us. Equally significant, though, is that all the while he was pursuing his personal career, he was also helping others achieve their dreams through his support and mentorship. Both of today's honorees combine distinguished careers with a commitment to others. And in that regard, they're like all of those who we've recognized at past convocations, who may have excelled in different fields and in different parts of the country, but who have messages and histories that carry a consistent theme. And those themes all refer to the same ingredients for success in life: passion, commitment, and perseverance, coupled with a concern for others. Not many of us will likely ever be in a position to have the impact of someone like Dr. Waters. However, I'm reminded of a speech that Robert Kennedy gave some 50 years ago to a group of university students in South Africa. He said, "Few will have the greatness to bend history itself, but each of us can work to change a small portion of events, and in the total of all those acts will be written the history of this generation." It is often said that upon graduation, we take with us not only our diplomas, but also the reputation of our alma mater. Since you and I are the fortunate beneficiaries of an enviable reputation built by those who came before us, it seems to me that we all owe it to those yet to come to do what we can to enhance the reputation of this university even further by the contributions that we will make. Dr. Waters and Dr. McManus both set wonderful examples of that kind of commitment and the opportunity to contribute. All of us at the university hope that as you reflect back on your time here at University of Manitoba, you will feel that while you were here, you moved just a little further along the path towards becoming all that you were meant to be. Congratulations and best wishes for professional careers and personal lives that are both filled with much success and great satisfaction. Congratulations to you all.
Mr. Chancellor, it's now my honor to request on behalf of the University Senate that you confer upon the candidates the degrees and diplomas earned by them, as these shall be announced. Will those who are to receive degrees and diplomas please rise?
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of this university, I admit you to the degrees to which you are severally entitled, with all of the rights and privileges thereto appertaining. I also admit in absentia those who have completed the requirements for these degrees, but who are today not able to be present.
Will those graduates in the front row please remain standing, and the others, you are free to resume your seats. Mr. Chancellor, may I now present the candidates whom you have admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, with Acting Dean, with Vice Provost Diane Hebert-Murphy hooding the graduates. Domenico Luciano Di Curzio. Shibi Mary Kuriakos Kunapelil. Emeka Boniface Sokeke. Edgar Mejia. Anurag Singh Sikarwar. Gail Angela Halis. Yan Lu. Charit Gunasakara. And now, Mr. Chancellor, on to the candidate whom you have admitted to the degree of Master of Science with a major in dentistry, Associate Dean Raj Bular of the College of Dentistry, Hooding the graduate. Crystal Sidhu. Now, Mr. Chancellor, the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Physician Assistant Studies with Assistant Dean Ed Kruger of the Rady College of Medicine, Hooding the graduates. Christian Lee Andres. Melanie Boschman. Matthew Allen Christian. Cameron Connor Crisco. Carlene Luchka. Lisa Michelle Moore. Amelia Nason. Stephen Michael Piotrowski. Caitlin Elizabeth Sohor. Danica Taylor. And Tiffany Walker. And now, Mr. Chancellor, the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Public Health. Amy Lynn Bocott. Amy Marie Dynerski. Brandy Ann Pantel. We now move on to the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Science with majors in medicine. Eric David Joseph Bouchard. Angela Mary Krutish. Mega Murali. Siobhan Nityash. Christine Elsie Craker. Shauna Jerry Zinnick. Romaine Kathy Shalini Adir Manazinge. Tyler Alexander Kosawan. Emily Diane Shartner. And now, Mr. Chancellor, we will move on to the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Nursing, with Dean Beverly O'Connell of the College of Nursing hooding the graduates. Erin Lynn Bergen. Stephanie Marie Melissa Ann Eastman. Jennifer Charlene Fulcher. Megan Howell. Amanda Jean Jacoby. Megan Beth Craker. Kimberly McKay. Ana Marie Marquez. Freddie Kuzimana. Olabizi Uluremi Oyalano. Jocelyn Laura Marie Peronto. Martha Lee Ross. Sarah Justine Unwin. Darcel Roxane Vigier. Stephen Michael Wintonu. Susan Hope Wintonu. Mr. Chancellor, we now move on to the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Science with majors in pharmacy. Assistant Dean Ed Kruger of the Rady College of Medicine, hooding the graduates. Yu Hua Fun. Dinghua Liang. And now, Mr. Chancellor, we move on to the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Occupational Therapy. Dean Reg Urbanowski of the College of Rehabilitation Sciences, hooding the graduates. Pamela Caroline Bakovich. Andrea Gail Weeb Carrier. Lauren Mary Casey. Lori Renee Chawinski. Lauren Shelby Coates. Lindsay Rita Nicole Feuerstein. Carly Suzanne Gasick. Kirsten Marie Rachel Godard. Sarah Hibbert. Alina Jones. Alana Page Conkin. Alexa Miranda Kelberg Kovacs. Shannon Kathleen Lawton. Brannigan Lipla. Michelle Louis. Cale Avery Lutomsky. Marley Farron Mayer. Roslyn Kira McCubbin. Sherry Lynn Ray McLaughlin. Kay Moliner Garcia. Alexandra Corinne Moser. Keisha Marie Nault. Jenna Emily Nixon. Sylvie Punga. Christina Allison Rambaran. Erica Jo Ramos. Erin Christina Roach. Sarah Michelle Senecal. Christine Barbara Lynn Skaken. Emily Catherine Smith. Ellen May Stafford. Laura Ann Stebeleski. Kawana Samuel Tekasala. Brittany Lee Van Bellingham. Melissa Ann Van Winsberg. Nicole Alana Verkine. Danielle Marie Vigier. Kathleen Vaux. Sarah Lynn Waukee. Angela Mariana Wisniewski. Teresa Manwai Wong. And now, Mr. Chancellor, we'll move on to the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Physical Therapy. Danielle Marie Bailey. Pierre-André Joseph Bosque. Eric Bramer. Haley Ann Bridgman. Kelsey Erin Brown. Kelsey Melissa Brown. Kimberly Louise Cartier. Blake Chalmers. Smart man. Thank you. Ellen Jade Chorchinov. Nayla Kayleen Crook. Morgan Kate Dachenhaus. It's coming. Jessica David. Aaron Christopher DeGris. Ashley Ray Deloge. Richard Blair Dinsdale. Manvir Singh Dosanjh. Jessica Sarah Dick. Lisa Justina, or is that Liza? It's Liza. Liza Justina Enns. Evalina Faidor. Curtis Stephen Friesen. Bradley Gangloff. Catherine Geringer. Kaylin Gauthier. Corinne Marie Jolene Gautron. Shayla May Heidinger. Caitlin Rebecca Joyal. Brandon Matthew Labonte. Chantal Renee Landry. Teralyn Lester. Jennifer Lynn Major. Julie Manguba. Devon Ryan Pakala. Laura Allison Bryn Peters. Anna Pirlog. Bridget Ashley Quintana. Stuart Reimer. Christine Caitlin Sharrow. Jessica Lee Sidak. Melissa Pauline Skibinski. Caleb Laurie Smith. Daniel John Sokolowski. Corey Taves. Quinn David Taylor. Justin Tran. Melanie Amber Van Reenen. Vanessa Marie Voth. Now, Mr. Chancellor, we move on to the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Science with majors in Rehabilitation Sciences. Catherine Bryden Dewick. Nirmal Chandravadan Dave. Zoya Imran. Mayur Data Nankar. Christabel Nett. We now move on to the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Arts in Disability Studies. Zara Khan. Terry Robert Mitchell. And now, the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Master of Arts, Kinesiology and Rec Management major, with Associate Dean Sarah Tizzo hooding the graduates. Amanda Jane Cairns. Stephen Heath Dubienski. And now, Mr. Chancellor, the candidate whom we've admitted to the degree of Master of Arts, Recreation Studies major. Alex Stefan Richards. We now move on to the candidates whom we've admitted to the degree of Master of Science, Kinesiology and Rec Management majors. Naomi Christine Ham. Andrew Nicholas Stammers. And now, Mr. Chancellor, on to the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Health Sciences, with Assistant Dean Ed Kruger presenting the parchments. Kelvin Kipnengo Bet. Tamara Lynn Landego. And now, Mr. Chancellor, the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree Bachelor of Health Studies. Cassandra Crystal Friesen. Omote Tobore Olu Yugbovre. Mr. Chancellor, may I now present the candidates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Human Ecology. Kateri Ann Bueno. Sandra Tina Sindrick. Chantal Marjorie Harris. Amanda Jefferson. Janik Kuffel. Caitlin Lewis. Caitlin Ellen Mahaffey. Torrance Courtney Robertson. Joan Regine Tsarina Saudin. Leah Unraw. Maria Carminia Upton. We now move on to the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Health Sciences, with Dean Beverly O'Connell of the College of Nursing presenting the parchments. Maren Adun. Brianne Ray Ainscough. Catherine Grace Alejandro. Tegan Alicia Armsworthy. Nicole Azurin. Olivia Catherine Ruth Ballantyne. Brittany Catherine Terumi Burke. Dilpreet Batal. Shanika Camille Boruel. Kristen Rianne Elise Broadfoot. Christina Yvonne Bickert. Caitlin Dawn Bueller. Brittany Marie de Souza Cabral. Clara Anita Marie Catelier. Lyndon Donald Shays. Emily Lynn Clark. Megan Elizabeth Baxter Conrad. Hannah Grace Curtis. Anna Dow. Francis De Leon. Nico De Vera. Jose Eduardo Deras. Ejigu Tamene Deresa. Miriam Mary Dirksen. Yodit Durzi. Sital Dillon. Bessie Shidou. Anna Eisner. Kevin Andrew Eserio. Faith Doroteo Espiritu. Riley Alexandra Fonseca. Jenna Ann Fraze. Katharina Fraze. Christina Geitch. Christine Martha Gerber. Valerie Marie Mireille Gay. Sage Elizabeth Parisienne Guilboche. Kristen Chelsea Hansford. Emmanuel Canlas Hernandez. Melissa Lillian Beulah Hillman. Rebecca Hoffer. Michelle Ann Ilagan. Dana Erisa Asuncion Ila. Jenna Intrater. Michaela Dawn Yoakum. Erin Elizabeth Benton Kangas. Taylor Allison Kirkpatrick. Yomi Kong. Ashley Patricia Kalzicki. Tamsin Drew Lazuita. Elena Ashley Danielle Leclerc Reimer. Ilana Lipschitz. Jessica Catherine Lepke. Anne Lowen. José Denise Marie Massinon. Jessica Daphne McCarthy. Lee Susan McClelland. McKenna Tharoon McCrimmon. Christine Bernice Marlene McIver. Jocelyn Alvina McKay. Jane Meng. Kendra Annie Marasti. Melissa Rochelle Morin. Kateri Ann Muse. Joseph Jamar Tapia Nacorda, Jr. Rachel Lauren Nakonashni. Julie Ann Durante Navea. Daylin Ray Marie Nelson Burkhart. Jessica Irene Nagai. Kathleen May Pangan. Jemima Zion Pangan. Stephanie Parkin. Jody Lee Perrott. Catherine Ann Patzer. Sonia Perez Couto. Caitlin Query. Julie Claire Rosenthal. Adeline Ross. Jikvika Sachdeva. Gerard Francis Felizardo Salas. Erica Elizabeth Sandor. Danielle Teresa Albi Sherbo. Chrissy Lynn Schuler. Hannah Gabrielle Severa. Carly Alana Shasky. Jaslyn Marie Schufelt. Brittany Jade Silverstein. Jessica Marie Smith. Cecilia Keria Surya. Catherine Brianne Chabot. Derek Kyle Taboy. Melissa Marie Touzin. Tara Gay Ursel. Kayla Nicole Vanderwees. Robin Wainwright. Kendra Lisa Wall. Nicole Elaine Wilson. Ashley Paige Yankee. Zenia Zara Negre Yap. Alyssa Zacharias. Ziqiao Zhang. And now, Mr. Chancellor, on to the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Health Sciences with a degree in respiratory therapy. Also, at this point, with our University Gold Medal winner, Florentina Tolai, we wanted to add that it's the University Program Medal that she receives. Florentina Tolai, congratulations. Jessica Lynn Barron. Megan Kendra Flynn. Marika Fritzi. Catherine Jade Aduna Garingaro. Keisha Herbert. Sally Catherine Nutchuk. Dana Kathleen Horseman. Simon Liu. Morgan Taylor Richardson. Sumit Ruprai. Jean-Claude Louis Simard. Aaron Xin Yen Sang. All right. And Bosco Zorcic. Now, Mr. Chancellor, the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Kinesiology with Associate Dean Sarah Tietzel, Faculty of Kinesiology and Recreation Management, presenting the parchments. Sarah Elizabeth Kamstra. Jan Vincent Terencio Tan. Crystal Ann Tykrieb. Brittany Louise White. And now finally, Mr. Chancellor, the candidates whom you've admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Rec Management and Community Development. Eureka Baba. Tori Lynn Brown. Emily Rose Ford. Sarah Ruth Jasmine. Megan Danielle Lamirande. Chidiabere Obike. Praisha Nonane Reyes. Rachel Ann Tew.
Good afternoon, Your Honor, Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, the Honorable Wayne Waters, guests, and graduates. My name is Jeff Lieberman, and I am the past president of the University of Manitoba Alumni Association. Congratulations, graduates. As you set out, your degree in hand, know that you are joining a welcoming alumni community more than 134,000 strong in 138 countries. May these fellow University of Manitoba graduates be a source of inspiration as you continue your journey and follow your heart. If you aspire to be a pioneering researcher, a celebrated scientist, or a trailblazing physician, look no further than distinguished alumnus Dr. Edward Lyons and his groundbreaking work in ultrasound, Gary Wong, who helped curb the spread of Ebola, and Dr. Marcia Anderson Ducado, who is working to close gaps in Indigenous health. I remember what it feels like to be sitting where you are today, and the anticipation and excitement that comes with that. It's a day to celebrate, and we celebrate with you. You are about to begin a new journey with the University of Manitoba. Welcome to the alumni family. I encourage you to stay connected to the University of Manitoba's alumni office and to benefit from being an active member of the community. Throughout my involvement with the Alumni Association, I've witnessed the incredible mentorship our alumni bring to fellow grads. They'll extend their hand as an advisor, coach, and friend. Alumni are proud ambassadors of the University of Manitoba, and their outstanding achievements tell the story of this fine institution. Your journey contributes to the story, and we can't wait to read the next chapter. Thank you, and congratulations.
This brings our formal proceedings to an end, so convocation is now at an end, and I would ask members of the audience to please remain in your places until the academic procession has left the room, and then please join us for a reception afterwards back where the graduates received their robes.